I just slept for, I think it was over 12 hours. And I probably could like continue sleeping, because it feels like when I sleep, it feels like things are like vibrating out of me, and that I'm like more and more entering this like very like, it feels like I'm entering into a different dimension. Like it feels like I'm up leveling into like a slower dimension. But why I started recording right now is because I woke up with this feeling that like the stream of consciousness, little stream of consciousness project that I've been doing on my Spotify that I was calling a podcast. I woke up feeling like, since they're essentially vlogs, that I should just be doing it on YouTube. And I just saw 144. This is the first time that I've felt like one of the little projects that I've done for myself could have been like somewhat wrong. I wanted to try out doing a podcast because I had my original intention was for it to be like audio focused and something that you could just sort of listen to in the background. But to be honest, they've turned into like like they're always like abstract and you know, existential in nature, but they are vlogs, and they're a lot of like me processing like what's happening in my life, but not only but sometimes it's me processing like what I'm gonna do next, and like they might be more appropriate as vlogs, because I also like I do feel like in the last like 72 hours, I don't think I could quite identify it or name it, but I do feel like there's been sort of a very observable pivot in my energy, and I feel I also started like kind of seeing myself more as like a lot of the influencers that I've used as mentors for many years, and I wanted to kind of move from Instagram stories to TikTok. And so now I don't know like what the little Spotify podcast that what it feels like I should have just been putting them on YouTube, because like I think I didn't. I think I thought, even though there's video attached, I think I thought that I was gonna like focus more on audio and it was gonna be like a sound project, but they're just essentially vlogs. They're like little like, you know, halfway like manic like vlogs. So, and I'm like a very visual person, and I feel like I would like to always focus on like the visual aspect of like when I'm like kind of building a little world. I always want, it's like an opportunity to film something cool. So I mean, I could just like put them all on YouTube, but like I don't think I need to do that right now. So it's like almost August, and I've been in Texas since the beginning of January. That's when I started that podcast. So the podcast is like a semi-consistent account of from basically when I first got here to now. The last one I filmed was yesterday. And I just a few days ago shipped like 3 huge boxes of stuff back to the West Coast, back to Portland. So I'm definitely at the point where I'm like getting ready to leave. Which I think is a good chapter in itself. So I really like, everything has like made so much sense up until now. Like I just felt like I was being like very divinely guided, and like I was like so excited the way that everything was like unraveling, and like, you know, how I could just follow like intuitive hunches and it would just make sense. And this is the first time where I'm feeling like, why did I make like the podcast just seems like almost like redundant, because this account, like YouTube, if you go back far enough, like, well, it's not even that far, because I haven't made a lot of new YouTube videos in the last like few years. And so this YouTube account, which is also like more accessible for people, I think, you know, like I don't think a lot of people like listen to my podcast, which is like this YouTube account, what was like, I was vlogging on here, so why didn't I just continue vlogging? Like, why did I think I needed to like make like a podcast? Like, I don't know. Because I also like, if I were to like interview people, like I think it would be cool to like collaborate with people and collaborate with like other like kind of like spiritual people who like think like me. I would want it to be video, like even if we're just like talking like this, like, or it's like just a video of like our hands, like I don't know, but we could like sit in like it doesn't make sense to me now. Like, why did I just put them on YouTube? I don't know. So now I just have like a weird number of like episodes on like my Spotify. I have like 13. And what is that gonna be? Like, what was that? I don't know. I guess I should just accept that like don't know. Okay, well, that was a really good sleep. Please, God, angels, guides, please help me understand and figure out and know what platform is the best for the kind of like output that I want to be doing. Like, please just help guide my YouTube channel. Don't let my Spotify efforts be in vain. But it's very possible that they might be, and that was just me like outward processing like into the void and that was its purpose, and it wasn't supposed to like become like a project. Because I think that like if I think the people who would want to watch, you know, like a personality, like someone like kind of someone's life and process and stuff, it would be like YouTube. It would be someone who, it would be like, you'd want to watch it on, like the people who are like on YouTube and who like watch stuff on YouTube would be more privy to watch that. I feel like Spotify is something where it's like more organized, and it's like I think that at a certain point, like having like my audio on Spotify as like background sound would be like kind of chaotic, and like I just feel like that's too like chill of a too chill of a concept for like what I'm doing. And maybe that's what I needed to do. Like I think that I had the Spotify idea because I was like, wow, I'm like really entering these like really interesting higher dimensions, and I felt like such a spiritual like God, and I wanted it to be like this very like eloquent and like elegant thing, but in the last 72 hours, I just kind of accepted that like my intelligence is best translated via like a more like an influencer vehicle, because I just have like such a like intense personality, and like I'm also like very vain, and so I don't think I'll ever be like truly calm enough. Whatever that means. So that's also something I processed on my last podcast episode, was like I always feel like I'm gonna reach this like perfect like neutral place, but I'm just like change is so constant, and I'm such a person who like loves to like change their mind and like experiment and like do new stuff and like shake stuff up. Like I get bored, and not in a like happy way, in a like way where I just love variety, that I can't imagine I just feel like who I am and like my physical presence is like very important to my art and like what I do, and it would just make more sense if I did something where the visual element was a crucial part of it. So if you watched my last episode, number 13, you would have seen that I was talking about how I had like woken up at 2 a.m. that day. So it's the same day, or actually it is the next day. But I went to bed, woke up at 9 p.m. last night, and it's now 7:30 a.m. and I have I'm just rolling with it. I'm just flowing with it. As I do. I'm very curious what's going to happen when I go to school this fall in a month and a half, because I will have like actual like times that I have to be places, but I feel like this whole time here has been about sort of just like training to sort of live in the abyss, in the floaty space, and kind of like be able to like operate and function regardless of, you know, what's going on and like how I feel really, and just like never like lose myself, no matter how I feel or what my surroundings are. So I've already thought about this, and I feel like it'll be the kind of thing where like I'll probably have a really weird kind of like fluctuating non-linear sleeping pattern, but I'll be able to like if I had woken up at 9 p.m. like last night and like I had algebra this morning at 8 a.m., then I would just be at algebra, you know? So, because I've also made naps familiar, which I was very anti-nap. Even since I was a really little girl, and that makes sense because I've always been like a very like sort of really like high energy person, and at some point it took a turn into like anxiety, you know, where like you just like can't rest because like you're like in a little cage. But even when I was a little girl, you know, like I just couldn't be told like what to do. Like it was not like anyone can really be told what to do, but like you know, my mom would like try to put me for naps, and I would like go with my grandpa and then like sneak out of the room and be like, okay, like grandpa's sleeping, like hey, I'm back, like what's up? So I'm curious if this 13 doorway is opening into a new energy, because it's very aligned, because it's possible that I did say I wanted to move away from like Instagram processing and more onto TikTok and here. So I actually made a new TikTok account just a couple. I opened a new TikTok account a couple hours ago, and I had the urge. I haven't been out of the house except for to like go with my Grammy to the grocery store in probably like 2 months, and I felt no desire to. I've been totally fine. I've just been like in my little cocoon, but today I for some reason like looked outside and like it's wet and it's been raining. And it's really early, so it's not like a million degrees yeah, it is still really humid. So I am feeling like I'm inside of the Butterfly Museum. If you've ever been to the Butterfly Museum, it is a glass enclosured sort of garden that they have to keep moist for the butterflies. And that is how it feels out here. But something told me, which is very curious, because like I said, it's been months. No desire whatsoever, and something told me to come on a walk. So, and I'm in my favorite area of this suburban neighborhood, which is this like open field with like little paths with these like cell phone towers, and the moon is still out. That always trips me out how that happens. Like it's 8 a.m. I don't know anything about astronomy, but like how are they both out here? It's actually, well, the moon is higher than the sun. So what will this new little chapter bring, I wonder? It's very possible that I'm entering another little time period of posting a lot of these in rapid succession as I kind of like establish and ground this new energy. Like, that's kind of what I did when I first started this podcast. Is I was posting for a while. I feel like my first 75% of them, I was posting new episodes every couple days. If you're watching the visual of this, I don't know how I'm going to, this is really pretty, so I want to take a screenshot of that. That's my clearing. I'm clearing energy. I can't tell what is wet. It's very, okay. I think we're gonna be okay. So, yeah, so every few days I was posting it because I just was I had never really it's really interesting how all of my platforms evoke a different sort of outward processing from me, and they do very different things. From my perspective, it feels at least this one, because it's so long form, it feels like it has, I don't know if I could really explain it, but it's just different. It's these sessions, you know. And then once I had done that, I kind of calmed down and went to other things, and so back to the school thing. I'm so excited about that. This is something that so the school that I'm going to is the only school that I very seriously considered going to. I think it's the only school I applied to and visited when I was 18. It was the only one. It's in the forest. It's a build your own major, hippie school. And now I'm 30, but I decided not to go. And now I'm 30 and gonna go with all of this wisdom and like all like well-rounded and stuff, so that I can like really, really like immerse myself in it, and like take stuff like algebra and like really, you know, intense like theory classes, stuff that I just never would have taken before, because my rebellious streak was so rebellious that it was even at times like against my true self, but it was like what I needed at the time. So, and I had like sort of a slight inclination that might be like what I do. And so last year I kind of like put some, what's the phrase? You've got some balls rolling, in case that's what I decided to do. And then I like literally like just about a month ago, I officially like accepted my admissions and like registered for classes. All of a sudden it just felt like very, very correct. And I felt like I was in a place where I could really like do it justice. And I mean, I've talked about so much stuff, I think, on here and like on Instagram, and I've gone through so many. Basically what happens with your spiritual awakening is your kundalini awakens, like your like life force energy. And because like when you're in a state of trauma and survival, you're very like compressed. Like you're not accessing all of yourself whatsoever. And so when you have a spiritual awakening, in whatever way that comes for you, like whatever, I think a spiritual awakening I would say is a kundalini awakening, because it simultaneously sparks a higher connection, which starts bringing all of this information that has been previously withheld from you because of trauma. Because trauma keeps you very, very small. It keeps you just like all of your dreams and all of your truths just like out of reach, you know? And we find ways to supplement this, like through like entertainment, and like everything becomes like a concept. Everything becomes like separate from us. And it's not, we don't feel like we don't feel like any of our dreams are like something we can actually live. We feel like they're like things just to sort of watch on a screen, or kind of outsource. And it's like you start getting flooded with, and at the same time you're very detached from it. So you're not like, I think that's like the best way I can explain it. And so like when you have an awakening, it's like all of that information starts coming to you again, and it's on catch up. Like time starts moving really, really fast. Like it's kind of like, okay, you know that movie Big Fish, where he meets clearing. He meets that girl at the circus, and time slows down. This is also something that happens like with love, but like, so time slows down, and he walks up to her, and they have this like moment. It's like this moment of stillness together. And then all of a sudden time starts speeding up, and she disappears because, yeah. So that's just a really nice scene that I felt like describing. And you should definitely go watch that movie if you haven't, because it's such a beautiful depiction of true, eternal, like divine, pure love. but so imagine that, but like the trauma version of it. So it's like, okay, so I guess it's not, I mean, it's like, it's just time. So it's like time gets like really, really, but it's like the bad version of it. Because when you're in trauma, like time is like moving really, really fast, and you have like no sense of presence or stillness in your life. And so this is why a lot of people like, it's like your dreams and your spirituality and your connection to source turns into mental illness, because it like has nowhere to go. It's just like up here, like running like in circles. So how did I even start talking about this? I think it's just been really interesting. Like, I've like, you all of a sudden get like smacked in the face with like years, decades of stuff that had been previously kept from you about like what you're here to do and like who you are and like what you love. Everything that's real to you, memories, visions, like everything that's real to you suddenly smacks you in the face in your trauma body. And then they both have to try and figure out how to merge and integrate together. And it's the best type of crazy I can imagine, because it's like it's like the inverse of like, being like really depressed or in psychosis and like trying to make sense of your horrible dark reality through distractions or romanticism or something like that. That's like another type of reality merging. This one is really good because it's just like you have the path makes sense. Like you lose a lot of fear and you like know where you're going. So like even though you feel really crazy and it happens like at rapid speed, because I was stuck in depression for like decades, but this ascension process has been like 2 years. And it's like a rapid healing process, because I almost just like slipped and fell. Because you heal a lot faster once you understand that love is real, because you can kind of like, you're like, okay, take me where you will. So anyway, I'm really excited to like, take an algebra class, because I really loved algebra as a young person, and to just like be like all of the parts of me, like, yes.